Please, sir. I want some more.
What? What? Don't ask for more.
Today I want to talk...
This is the tool of choice. Labor intensive, but I don't consider it work.
His own two hands in the soil. That's the way Jules Gervais likes it. Feeling the crop he's created on land no one thought was farmable. Except for him.
My tool is a trowel. And that doesn't take up much space. And on my feet walk down the beds of the, between the beds, and they walk the front yard. And you really don't need that much space.
Space, or lack thereof, is actually the challenge for Gervais because he lives on a residential street with no room to grow, just a mile from the busy streets and freeways of Pasadena. This city farmer is now doing the unusual. He's making a living off of his garden and turned the very little land he has from a typical suburban lawn into a lush cornucopia.
When I started this project, it was just basically for me, and it was a hobby, but I got serious about it when the genetically modified foods came out. Plus, in Pasadena, the food was costing a lot.
Okay, Jordy, here comes the greens.
For the last 8 years, Gervais and his 3 children, Anise, Justin, and Jordan, have challenged themselves to produce an abundance of food on 1/10 of an acre.
So far, we've produced annually over 6,000 pounds, so it's 3 tons of food. This year we're challenging ourselves to go for 10, grow for 10, we're calling it, and we're trying to get 10,000 on our 10th acre little urban farm here.
That's right, 3 tons of food created on less than an acre. To do this, both the front and backyards are utilized to grow 350 varieties of organic fruits and vegetables, which the family then sells to restaurants and catering companies.
All right, thanks.
I never thought that we would have a surplus. It was nice enough to feed your family. But when it kicks in, and we were amazed at how much we could produce here. We could actually make money in the city as farmers, which is an amazing, feat to think that you could be farming in the city on micro acreage.
To some, this is just a micro farm, but Jules claims this is a homegrown revolution and dubs him and his family eco-pioneers. They even call what they're doing on the farm a path to freedom, because his family is taking strides towards self-sufficiency.
So you're going to get the eggs in?
Yeah, get the eggs. My dad's my inspiration. He's somebody I really would love to follow in footsteps because he's made quite a difference. And he's really, I thank him every day for what he's done for me as a child. It's not something my father's told me to do. He put me on the right path.
More Australians are finding themselves going hungry, with 4 million people across the country unable to afford food in the last 12 months. These Australians are deemed food insecure, and it's a growing problem.
When Annette suddenly became the full-time carer of her son with disabilities, her life was turned on its head.
Prior to all of that,
The 69-year-old went to a Brisbane food relief charity to stock up on subsidised supplies.
when I got there, there was well over 100 people, waiting to go in the doors. So, yeah, it really brought it home to me that I wasn't the only one.
And she certainly isn't alone. New data released by Foodbank Australia says almost 1 in 5 Australians, more than 4 million people, have experienced food insecurity in the last 12 months.
I think we often think we live in the lucky country, but the reality is a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, and what's happening is that small things, bill shock we call it, are causing people to find it difficult to put food on the table.
This food bank warehouse in Queensland is the largest of its kind in Australia, salvaging more than 12 million kilograms of food last year alone. But even with that record amount, food relief charities are having to turn away more than 12,000 people each month empty-handed.
What they're telling us loud and clear is that the number of people registering with them for food is increasing year on year, and that's a worrying statistic.
Foodbank has been lobbying politicians this year in a bid to improve policy to ensure charities can get their hands on more salvaged produce.
We're advocating for some tax relief to clarify the tax deductibility of transport costs associated with donating food, but also to allow more incentives through the donation process for the donors.
Without increased action, charities fear the queues for food will get even longer. Tim Swanston, ABC News, Brisbane.
Not